This is Entertainment Tonight, the most watched entertainment news program in the world.
I'll miss her, as everyone will.
Why couldn't they let her be?
Hollywood mourns the death of a princess. From John Travolta's message for Diana's boys to the outrage over the paparazzi.
They're stalkers. They're legalized stalkers is what they are.
Entertainment Tonight reports from around the world with the latest on the investigation.
I'm Mark Steinis in Paris, where prosecutors today leveled claims that Diana's driver had been drinking.
And I'm Julie Moran with the latest details from Buckingham Palace.
From Di's famous friends to her legions of fans, the royal tragedy that rocked the world.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she was dead. I still can't really.
Joan, Lunden. GMA has lost ratings. Do you feel they blamed you for that? Were you pushed out of GMA? A provocative and personal E.T. cover story as Joan tackles the tough questions about leaving the show.
The other thing that I hear people say, was it because you were getting old?
All the details on Joan's GMA departure as she sits down with Jan Carl for an E.T. exclusive.
See, you make me cry.
Terry Bradshaw tackles TV.
I love you, man!
From the gridiron to daytime gab. Meet the new couch quarterback turning talk shows upside down.
Women dig me.
You got the sex appeal? You got the sex appeal?
No, chicks dig me. I'm tell you why.
Welcome to Entertainment Tonight, everybody, for Labor Day, Monday, September 1st, 1997. I'm Bob Goen.
And I'm Mary Hart. People around the world are saying a long, tearful farewell to the people's princess. And their shock at Diana's tragic death is giving way to anger at news today that her driver was legally drunk. E.T.'s Mark Steinis is in Paris with the latest on the investigation. And Julie Moran is in London as Hollywood royalty mourns a friend. We begin with Julie.
Mary, I'm here at Westminster Abbey where mourners will pay their final respects to Princess Diana on Saturday. Their grief is mixed with anger and bewilderment over the news of the driver's blood alcohol level. But among the members of the Hollywood community, this report has not lessened their shock and outrage.
A short while ago, Buckingham Palace confirmed the death of Diana, Princess of Wales.
I think the whole world is in a state of shock. When I first heard the news, I did cry a lot, and for different reasons. The first was because I didn't like the idea of meaningful lives being cut short, and the second for her children. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she was dead. I still can't really.
Eventually something that between paparazzi and celebrity was going to eventually go awry.
She was the most famous woman in the world. Her radiant face had been bathed in the lights of seemingly millions of flashbulbs. Now, along with the rest of the world, Hollywood is in mourning over the tragic death of Princess Diana. And for the stars, her death hits very close to home. Many of them live in the glaring eye of the paparazzi, and they know firsthand what it's like to have a price on your head for a picture.
I think what is the world coming to? This is absolutely, it's so disgusting.
Tom Cruise knew Princess Diana. After learning of the high-speed crash, he called CNN to express his shock and anger.
It is escalating at this point, and we're just devastated about this.
The haunting images of this Parisian tunnel become all the more eerie, with the reports that Diana and Al Sayed's driver was intoxicated. The media's obsession began with Lady Di when she was still a teenager, and first linked with Charles. She apparently had no idea what a fishbowl her life would become.
I'm amazed that she's been brave enough to take me on.
I never encouraged the media. There was a relationship which worked before, but now I can't tolerate it because it's become abusive, and it's harassment.
Diana admitted she often courted the press to publicize herself and her charitable causes. But over the years, she lost her privacy and resented the fact her image had become such a highly profitable commodity.
They've decided that I'm still a project after 15, 16 years that sells well, and they all shout at me telling me that, oh, come on, Di, look up. If you give us a picture, I can get my children to a better school.
The paparazzi are not the credentialed press photographers who take pictures of the stars at public events, but rather those who pursue their prey relentlessly.
The press, by and large, are fantastic. We're talking about a small renegade group that are stalkers.
I think that laws do have to be made for this kind of thing that's happening with the paparazzi, whether it's pursuit or whether it's invasion.
She helped people. She made a difference. Why couldn't they let her be?
The funeral has been set for Saturday, almost a full week after Diana's death. Officials have done this so that the public will be able to pay their respects to the people's princess. Back to you in Hollywood.
Okay, Julie, thanks. Well, as the world turns its attention to Diana's funeral next weekend in London, the new revelations from Paris have cast an even darker shadow over Diana's death. And for that part of the story, we turn to ET's Mark Steinis in Paris.
Bob, I am standing at the mouth of the tunnel where Diana's life came to a crashing end. As French police investigate the circumstances surrounding this very tragic event, we have retraced the final moments of the princess's life before everything went black.
Diana and Al Fayed dined here at the posh Hotel Ritz to cap off their vacation in southern France. The couple left the hotel by back door to avoid the horde of paparazzi. According to reports, Al Fayed's regular driver was sent with a car as a decoy to lure photographers away. Then the couple, along with Diana's bodyguard, tried to secretly escape in an armored Mercedes driven by the number 2 hotel security guard. The pursuit accelerated into this tunnel with speeds at least double the 30-mile-per-hour limit. But what's worse is a startling report today from the Paris prosecutor's office that the driver, Henri Paul, was drunk. In a phone interview with CNN, Tom Cruise revealed a chase like this is a common occurrence between these walls.
I've actually been in that same tunnel being chased by paparazzis, and they run lights and they chase you and harass you the whole time.
Only this time, there was tragedy. Swerving out of control, the Mercedes struck head-on into this pillar, which is now marked by flowers.
The haunting pictures of the wreckage taken inside this tunnel bear eerie similarities to another accident, another princess lost. Princess Grace of Monaco, like Diana, was adored by millions the world over. And like Diana, her life ended suddenly, with screeching tires, broken glass, and twisted metal.
It was 1981 when a young Lady Di met Princess Grace. No one could have known they would meet the same fate. Like Diana today, the death of Grace Kelly stunned the world in 1982. She was embraced as the Princess of Monaco after a wedding to Prince Rainier that was the crowning event of 1956. But like Diana, her storybook life ended too soon, the result of a deadly crash. While behind the wheel in Monte Carlo, Grace suffered a stroke and plunged 120 feet down a cliff. A mother as well as a princess, Grace left behind 3 children. As mourners now remember Di, thoughts turn to the children that she leaves behind, Harry and William, and the outpouring of support for the boys reaches all the way back to Hollywood.
I want to be there for them if they need me, and I mean that literally. 24 hours a day, I'm very dependable when it comes to this kind of thing. I've lost people in my life, and I know how to help you through it.
Prince William and Prince Harry have been kept in seclusion back in Balmoral, Scotland. Meanwhile, here in Paris, a makeshift shrine has been erected here at the Flame of Liberty, complete with flowers and messages of love for Diana and hatred for the paparazzi. The royal family is now concerned that with the death of Diana, the paparazzi will turn their lenses on a new target, her 2 sons. Mary?
Thank you, Mark. It may be impossible to keep the young princess completely out of the spotlight, but perhaps after this tragedy, the tabloids will give William and Harry the space they need. Diana's death has touched millions, if not billions, of people. A fairy tale with a tragic ending, one that none of us will ever forget. Barbara Walters knew Diana well, and coming up on E.T., she shares her personal stories of the princess, her life, her laughter, and her new love.
Just as it was beginning to be a little bit of that fairy tale, she died.
Then, Joan Lunden, an E.T. cover story as she gets ready to leave Good Morning America this week. She tells about her new man and her weight gain.
Do you ever worry I might gain the weight again one day?
Next on E.T.
You never know how much I appreciate you letting me use this place. You know,
your name again?
It's Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, yeah.
It's an easy
used
one.
to know a singer named Kenny Rogers.
After more than 20 years, Joan Lunden says Good Morning America for the last time on Friday. But first, she sat down exclusively with Jan Carl. And in this Entertainment Tonight cover story, she showed us the Joan Lunden we never saw at 7 a.m.
Were you pushed out of GMA? GMA has lost ratings. Do you feel they blamed you for that? Have you thought about how you'll say goodbye?
They're the tough questions the world has wanted answers to ever since the morning Joan Lunden made this big announcement.
And I'm going to move on to prime time.
Here we go. It's Friday. After 21 years of waking up the country, TV's premier morning show host is getting ready to say goodbye, America, and sharing the details of her departure with Entertainment Tonight in her very first TV interview.
I've always said that the day I leave Good Morning America, I will sit down and write them a thank you note and say thank you for the 20 best years of my life. I don't know, 4 or 5 inaugurations, Olympics year after year.
Bungee jumping comes to mind.
Bungee jumping, you know, I mean, well, see, but look at even that. It has been my ticket to adventure.
Mixed in with the action were Joan's more personal on-air adventures. Over 2 decades, fans have seen her through 3 on-air pregnancies, 1 messy divorce, and a 67-pound weight gain.
I sometimes watch now and I think, how did that ever happen?
Do you ever worry I might gain the weight again one day, or
I go up and down like everyone. You think that I always stay perfect? I have 3 wardrobes just like the rest of you, you know? I have the 8, the 10, and every now and then when you start into the 12, you say, oh my God.
It's that kind of every woman mentality that's made Joan a viewer favorite. But with the show's ratings sagging, Good Morning America underwent a facelift. And amidst changes including a new set, new graphics, and new producers, Joan announced she was leaving, sparking immediate rumors that she had been fired. But Joan insists the decision was mutual.
At this point in my life, if I want to go on and do other things, I need to do it now. I mean, I knew a year and a half ago I needed to do it now, but they just weren't ready to let me go yet.
The other thing that I hear people say, was it because you were getting old?
You know, I don't think that there's any way we can sit here and say that there isn't I don't even know if it would be fair to say a network mentality. I think it's the mentality of this decade, quite frankly, that everything younger is better. And maybe there's something to that. And you know what? If so, great. Then I did it when I was supposed to do it, and I'll go on and do other things now.
Those other things include a surprise move from the news biz to showbiz. 19 years after turning down a role in the Dustin Hoffman hit Kramer vs. Kramer, Joan the anchor is becoming Joan the actress.
So we could see Joan Lunden in her own sitcom.
Well, we're not there yet, okay?
But we could see it. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
I actually do have 3 or 4 sitcom offers on my desk.
Supporting Joan every step of the way are her 3 daughters and her boyfriend of about a year, Jeff Koenigsberg, whom she calls her Rock of Gibraltar.
Everybody keeps asking us, when are we going to get married? And the fact is that we're in a relationship, just like anybody would be in a relationship, and you have to let it progress like it normally would until it's soup yet. You know, the old saying, is it soup yet?
Is there anything you want to say to your viewers? That's got to be hard. They want to know.
You had to do that, didn't you? I thought I was going to do this on September 5th, but I guess just an incredible thank you. And then I'm going to miss you, too. See, you make me cry. Okay.
Thanks, Jan, and Joan, too. Joan's first post-GMA sitcom gig comes up on October 1st. She will appear on the season premiere of Murphy Brown. Mary?
As Joan Lunden gets ready to say goodbye, a new titan is rising on the TV horizon, Terry Bradshaw. Coming up on E.T., which is tougher, tossing a football or having your own talk show?
I was sweating like crazy.
Then, Diana's former companion, James Hewitt, reacts to her death.
I'd like to say how much I loved and admired Diana.
Next on E.T.
Tomorrow on Entertainment Tonight, from Mouseketeer to convicted criminal.
People forever think of you as this shoplifting Mouseketeer.
A shocking arrest. Her days behind bars. For the first time, the Mickey Mouse Club's Darlene speaks out in the E.T. cover story.
Strip searched, You know, you're just made to stand there naked.
Plus, a personal tour of Sylvester Stallone's $27 million Miami mansion up for sale.
We thought we'd downsize a little bit.
That's tomorrow.
Former football star Terry Bradshaw is kicking off a brand new career. He's turning talk show host and teaming up with ET's Chris Raggi to score a TV touchdown.
At first glance, you may ask yourself, what is football great turned sportscaster Terry Bradshaw doing hosting a daytime talk show that targets housewives? Terry's got a theory.
Women dig me.
You got the sex appeal? You got the sex appeal?
No, chicks dig me. I'm tell you why.
You don't need to tell me.
Tell you why. Women are attracted to people they feel sorry for. They are. Truly.
What do you think? Easier to raise
boys?
Boys.
But don't feel too sorry for Terry, whether he's exploring motherhood with Adrienne Barbeau or the finer points of chicken with Kenny Rogers. This is one good old boy who's out to change daytime talk.
I love you, man.
Good chicken.
I got all the albums finished.
Terry says that in the 2 weeks since they started taping Home Team, he's gotten much more comfortable quarterbacking the show.
I was sweating like crazy. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. So damn cold in here now. I was wondering what the
But
heck
you know
your
what?
problem was.
I didn't sweat a drop today. Now, it's only 20
You're
degrees
looking
in
good,
there.
Tommy. And on the day I visited, he was even joined by his wife, Charla, and their 2 daughters.
Girls, can I ask you this? Are you at all worried about possibly having Daddy's hairline? You got this beautiful hair, you hate to lose.
Hey, you know what? I'll play catch with you if you'll give me some of that hair.
And Terry's hoping to score a big interview with his appeal to the one actress he most wants on the show, one who he's had a long crush on, Meg Ryan.
Meg, if you're out there and you guys, I know you're aging something, you want to come on here and make my life complete, I'm asking you right now. You gonna be all right? Can you finish this for me?
Thanks, Chris. Home Team with Terry Bradshaw debuts next Monday. Incidentally, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was scheduled to be one of Terry's first guests, but she canceled after this weekend's tragedy. Her spokesman tells ET that Fergie, quote, has lost someone she has always considered a sister and a best friend. There are no words strong enough to describe the pain in her heart.
She personified our childhood images of a princess. Those magical moments are like snapshots in our minds. Now Diana's senseless death has brought millions together in mourning, and a world worse off will never forget her.
I considered Princess Diana a friend. There was nothing really that was pretentious about her. I found her so charming.
It wasn't just Barbara Walters who could feel it. The warmth, the grace, the charm, they seemed to flow from Princess Diana as easily as a river to the sea. Even when she was known as Lady Di, in the months leading up to her marriage, her coy smile and knowing innocence captivated millions. But it wasn't until she wed Charles in 1981, the fairy tale nuptials beamed live to nearly 1 billion adoring viewers, that Diana's lot was cast and her fate sealed.
This was a young woman who wanted romance, who wanted Prince Charming, and this was a man who needed a queen. And from day one, although we didn't realize it then, it couldn't succeed.
That it couldn't succeed wasn't apparent for years. Diana took the world by storm, and it was a better world for it. She redefined royalty, influenced fashion, and when she became a mother, the picture seemed all the more perfect. But of course, the storybook fable was just that. There were serious problems in her marriage and bouts with depression. Things got messy. Infidelities were revealed. And today, her former lover and riding instructor, James Hewitt, told reporters he was devastated by her death.
I loved her and will miss her terribly.
In her personal life, there was a void. That is, until recently, when she became involved with Egyptian multimillionaire Dodi Al-Fayed.
This was the first relationship since her marriage that she could talk about publicly. And just as she was beginning to enjoy herself, just as it was beginning to be a little bit of that fairy tale, she died.
In the end, the tragedy that occurred in that Paris tunnel not only served to darken the City of Light, but it also seemed to extinguish a bit of every flame that burned inside of every heart that Diana ever touched.
The suddenness of it and the fact that she is so young will make her, for generations to come, a mythical figure.
ET's Julie Moran and Mark Steinist will continue our team coverage from London and Paris, and we will have more on the deaths of Princess Diana and her boyfriend, Dodi Al-Fayed, as the story unfolds. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by...
Our Honey Peanut Balanced Nutrition Bar is stirring up a lot of attention these days. This all-natural snack satisfies hunger for hours in a variety of delicious flavors you won't soon forget.
You have the taste, you have the style, but there's one last touch your bathroom needs. Touch of Scent's Elite Air Freshener. Find our elite line of fixtures in a variety of styles and scents.
Promotional fee paid by DirecTV. Want something for everyone? Get DirecTV programming. No one delivers more family movies, first-run films, and more hits every half hour. DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
Having an ET-style star Labor Day birthday, Lily Tomlin is 58.
Actor George Maharis is 69, and Yvonne DiCarlo of the Munsters is 75.
Xena has a new battle cry, and Grease is the word.
And tomorrow on ET, Lucy Lawless on Broadway. We'll see you.
Bye.
It's not easy, but it's not as hard as a day on Xena, so I'm really loving it.